Hello fellow motorcycle photographers, this is Julian from luminatic.com and today I want to edit images from Daniel Chu. I hope I pronounced this correctly. Daniel is member of the Motorcycle Photographers Forum and uploaded some special images of his Kawasaki Ninja together with flying sparks. And this is what he uploaded. And this is really well executed sparks images, but there is some room for improvement, and this is what the Motorcycle Photographers Forum is about. And today I want to discuss how we could combine two of these images, namely this one and this one, into Photoshop to make the pictures even better. So at first, let's look at this one, because I'm going to choose this image for the edit. First of all, when you're doing sparks photography, you have absolutely no control where the sparks are flying. You've got the steel wool ignited on a string, and you swirl it around in a circle, and the centrifugal force makes the sparks fly out. And there's absolutely no way of controlling where the sparks fly exactly. You can control the rough direction by where you're spinning, but the rest is not possible to control. So you have to take several takes, and this one is the best. Why is this the best? The bike, which is supposed to be in the center of attention, is not intersected by any sparks. Perhaps this one is hitting the rear a little, but this is not too bad. These ones are also impressive sparks, of course, with these sparks bouncing around and then breaking up into smaller sparks here, but the bike is behind a cloak of flying sparks, so these ones are not too suitable for this job. This one I like from concerning the position, because it looks like the bike is just jumped out of this like through a time portal. But for the sake of it, let's say I'm combining these two images, this one and this one. Why this one? This one. Because here the bike has been illuminated with a light source and is fairly well visible, and here it is very dark. So this is supposed to be a motorcycle image, so the attention has to go on the bike, and at the moment the attention goes on the guy, which is Daniel, I suppose, spinning the steel wool and the sparks, and the bike is a little bit in the background as it is very dark. Second of all, take absolute precautions when doing the steel wool thing. You're shooting around hundreds of sparks, and as you can see here, one of those sparks landed in the bushes, and this is very, very risky. Be absolutely sure that when you do these sorts of things, that nothing can ignite. Have a fire extinguisher, complicated, with you, so that in case of emergency you can always intervene at any moment, so that nothing bad happens. Third is the choice of location. The location is just great. The bridge here is wonderful. If we could cut down the trees, this would be even greater, so that you could see more of the bridge. But I think the city council would intervene. So the bridge is wonderful. And in this case, the problem is that the bridge has very strong lines. The cables holding the bridge is very, very strong lines, and these are now intersecting with the lines coming here from the sparks. So this is making a little bit of a mess. It's not too bad, but Daniel, tip for your next shooting: just shoot the bridge without bridge and bike without the sparks. Put the camera on the ground very low, take a high focal length, a telezoom, and try to get as much of the bridge as possible behind the bike, and then do a light painting thing. So what I'm going to do now is take this image and this image, combine them in Photoshop, and see how I can combine these two so that the light parts from this image will be embedded into this one to make this even more visible, to make the bike even more visible. And I already prepared this, so I already copied the first image here into Photoshop. I just copied it from Facebook, and this is just for demonstration. Keep in mind, this is a quick edit. This is not the cleanest way to do this. And also the bike, when I'm switching back and forth, as you can see, the bike is in different positions and the camera is at a slightly different angle. If you want to overlap images for combining them with this technique, you need to have the camera on a tripod, focus, then deactivate the autofocus and take each image at exactly the same setting and don't touch the autofocus. When you focus, and even if the camera focuses on the very same spot in the image, it is not guaranteed that the framing will be the same. This is called focus breathing. So by shifting the lens back and forth inside the camera, the lenses, the framing is a little bit different, and if the camera does not hit the very same spot, it can be possible that the framing is a little different. So at first, what I have to do now is try to match this image with this one. And I think I'm putting this image on top. And at first, I'm putting the opacity to, let's say, 60%, so that I see both images. And now I'm trying to resize this at first with Command and T. By transforming this, I have to move it around and try to match the bike as good as possible. So I have to scale it a little, make it, stretch it and compress it a little, move around again. This is now a little tricky as the bike is not has not been shot at the complete same setting and complete angle. Okay, this is, I think, as good as it gets. Now let's see. Okay, the windshield's matching. Okay, the tank is a little bit bigger on this one, so it's not perfect yet. So let's compress it a little again, a little bit smaller. Then I have to move it. The thing is, I'm looking now at the light here, at the headlight. This matches now well, but then other parts don't match. For example, the sign here. Okay, let's not be too anal about this. Let's say this is okay. As I said, when you're doing this properly, then you have to do it on the same camera settings and same focusing. Okay, now we have two images overlapping. I'm putting this back to 100% visibility. Now what we want to do is to combine these two. We only want the bright parts here from this area and combine it with the brightest parts from this here. And here Photoshop offers a wonderful thing. You've got here the layer blending modes, which is now normal. Now I'm putting it onto Lighten, aufhellen in German, Lighten. And what it does is Photoshop now compares the two images pixel by pixel and chooses to display only the brightest pixel from each layer. So it looks at the top left pixel, layer 1 or 2, is it brighter? Okay, 2 is brighter, I'm showing this one, the pixel right next to it, okay, layer 1 is brighter, and so on. It goes through the complete image. And this way, the bike, which is dark in this shot, can be lightened with one click, and you still retain here the reflection of the sparks, because the reflection of the sparks is the brighter part here, and everything else here is darker. On the windshield is on the late painted image darker, so it's a wonderful way to mix these images. You can see here that this didn't work too perfectly here because the pictures don't match 100%, but now I have to fix something. So we also displayed some stuff we don't want to see. For example, here the don't want to see is defined as I want to combine these two, and this is not this is the effect Daniel chose to do, which is fine, to trace the outline of the bike, but I don't want it in this particular image which I have. So what I'm doing now is I'm choosing this layer, and I've created a layer mask by clicking on this icon here. And the layer mask enables you to blend out certain parts of the image the layer mask is applied to. Painting, so white in the layer mask means everything's visible, and by painting in with a black brush you can make things invisible. So I'm painting now this part here, the lines he traced with this brush, and as you can see they disappear because they are now made invisible, and the algorithm shows what is lying beneath. Okay, and also here, see, I can repair this. And now you've got, with only a few clicks, the bike illuminated quite well. So I can also, there are some reflections here, and I can edit those out as well. And you can also see that the bridge is double. If I switch this out, you see that part of the bridge is shown double, and I can eliminate this also by painting in the layer mask and just paint everything, this was too big, with black. And this way everything which was double will disappear. And this is a very fast and easy way to combine these images, and now you've got more attention on the bike as the bike is illuminated. I could also, this is a little, I could also try now to edit, there is a reflection of the sparks, I think, come on, here, and oops. Okay, this doesn't work because now nothing is visible and it just shows the stuff underneath. So when I paint in the layer mask with black here, then I only show the stuff below. And okay, let's delete this again. Good. So the bike is now visible. You could also tweak on the colors now because the bike has been light painted with white light and the sparks are very orange and yellow. So we could try to taint this a little to match the lighting. And the biggest thing I would change is here getting rid of the person. You can do this by, when you set up the tripod and you focused and you deactivated the autofocus, you take one image without any person or lighting, just the bike in the lighting which is there, and then you have got one image of the bridge and no person standing here and no sparks. So this is the so-called backplate. You need a backplate to fix everything in post, and then you can overlay these images and stack these images, and then you can edit out the person standing here. That's nothing personal, just to make it clear. It's just the human brain is absolutely programmed to look at people. If there are people in the image is, the eyes will at first look at the images. So if you want to show only the bike, then the people should be then no people should be in the image, or there could be a rider or so. But in this context, Daniel is standing here with his leisure clothing, so he's got not bike context, so he's just a part of the image, part of the process, and not part of the image, if you know what I mean. If he'd stand here in full biker clothing, this would be a completely different thing. But in this setting, with this clothing, I'd edit him out. Yeah, that's a very quick edit, showing you how to combine these layers and make something more out of the images you have. Daniel, thank you very much for letting me show these images, and I'm looking forward to your next takes. And so anyone who's interested in motorcycle photography is invited to join the Motorcycle Photographers Forum on Facebook. Just look for the Motorcycle Photographers Forum. Attention, there are 2 of them. Take the bigger one. These are us at 154 users at the moment, July 2019. And I'm looking forward to seeing you and your images online. Thank you very much, and bye.